This silence has been brought to you by the mute function.
Sorry about that.
With the Banff podcast. Check your local listings for times and availability.
Thanks for tuning in to the Banff podcast, people. Just a great big warm auditory hug. We appreciate it. We do. And this is the latest episode in our ongoing campaign we've called the Liberty Legion Rises, which features a team of B-list Philadelphia heroes contending with various problems. I'm Mike Lafferty, your host, and I play, let's just call him Mags. He's an Atomic Robo-esque character who helps clear the streets in Philadelphia. And Walt Rebelliard, hey Walt, is playing... Go ahead. Yeah, introduce yourself, sure.
I am playing X-Archer, a failed Olympian who failed because he gained superpowers and couldn't handle it. And now he owns a restaurant and still shoots stuff.
All right. Brandon?
That's me.
I play Ragnarok, the team's loyal police dog. I gained superpowers in an accident involving way too many drugs, and now I go into Hulk-like rage if I'm exposed to too much of those drugs. Let's have a good time, kids, and bust crime.
All right, and Nick, you got a haircut?
No, I just didn't wear a hat this week.
All right.
I am in need of a haircut, though. I'm Nick. I'm playing Preston Sweeney, who goes by the superhero moniker of Mud, who's a time manipulator and a combat medic, who sometimes shows up and does a lot of weird stuff. But anyway, Mud's a really cool guy, and he is the healer of the group and patches everybody up.
Okay. And last but not least is Aid, who is playing a character who is really important to this current story arc. So, Aid, give us an introduction.
Okay, yeah, I'm playing Green Knight, which is a mix between medieval knight and Swamp Thing, linked to the Green Man myths or Merlin and all that kind of stuff. But currently depowered, as of the last session I was here, through a possible anti-Green Knight type character. We were trying to figure out what's going on with that one.
All right, so I think we're all caught up. You can find us on YouTube, on Podbean. We have a Banff Podcast Discord and a Banff Podcast Patreon. So handing the mic back to Alice, who is the GM.
Okay. And just so you know, later on today, I'm going to get either myself or Mike to get all our little links up onto the YouTube page so that you can find the Facebook, the Discord, and everything right on the YouTube page later on today. Anyways, so last we left, you guys were heading to the Ren Faire to save a kidnapped, sort of, Mud, and we had Green Knight, a.k.a. Mark Davis, was sent off to the hospital, but now Mark Davis is running off to come join you guys. Now that he's like, wait, I don't need to be in the hospital. Let me at him. So, they are... so, first of all...
That was a Scrappy-Doo moment there, it sounded like there for a second, sorry.
Sorry, what?
Let me at him.
I missed what he said.
Scrappy-Doo moment.
Ah, okay. Well, Scrappy-Doo's pulling up in his Scrappy-Doo van. Now I just picture Mark Davis driving a creepy van. I don't know why, after he said that.
Thanks so much, Scoob.
Okay. So, you guys get to the Ren Faire, and it looks like everyone's partying. It's in the middle of the weekend. There's lots of food, drinks, and such like that. What are you guys doing at this point at the gate of the fair? I assume, first of all, are you guys going to actually pay for tickets?
I'm a dog. I don't need to pay for any tickets.
Or are you guys going to...
I'm going to start tracking Mud. I give no concern to these humans and their concept of tickets.
Well... oh gosh, I've never been to a Ren Faire, so I don't know how they talk, and I'm scared of messing it up. But there is a ticket.
For lack of geekness.
There is a ticket booth there.
Alice, you've been in game stores and been hit on by countless neckbeards. You have a good idea of how they talk.
I have never been hit on by a neckbeard. Anyways.
I have. It was creepy.
This is not to say that everybody at a Ren Faire is that way, just that you can improvise based on that.
Okay, well...
Have you been around gamers who are talking about Monty Python and the Holy Grail? Or
yes,
Monty Python and... That the King Art. Yeah,
Okay.
that whole kind of never stop doing the bad English accents.
Alice,
Uh-huh.
Alice,
Welcome
just
to-
channel our good old friend Robert.
Oh, no. I am not doing any of those. Welcome to the Ren Fair. Would you like costumes and tickets or just tickets? Looking you up and down, you don't fit quite right.
Hey, X Archer is in an awesome leather getup.
True.
It's
He's
true.
actually just a flirt.
I have a dribble cup today.
He's Robin Hood from the latest movie,
That's
I think.
true. Ah,
With Edgerton.
good you, Robin Hood. Are you going to be entering in our costume contest?
I am costume really?
Yes. It'll
And you
be
don't-
happening in about 3 hours.
They
And you don't think
recognize
he? No, apparently not. I'm just surprised they don't think that you're the winner of the contest, seeing that you're obviously the golem.
This is not period appropriate.
We'll put some robes on you. It'll be fine.
That would be amazing. Yes, we're actually here for the costume contest / Dungeons and Dragons contest.
Well, bring your dice and it'll be $10 a person.
I can't believe that worked. I hand over a bunch of money,
Okay.
and I let them know that our service dog, he's a seeing nose dog because I'm smell deficient, and I tap the mask. I'm like, and then I just walk by.
I zerged past these people a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
Third.
Yeah, you just snuck in. Okay. So you guys are going to head in and you're tracking Mud. Brandon, you are able to find Mud in a staff area. A staff set of tents in the back.
Like an infection?
That's what I was thinking, Walt.
Employee. Employee section of tents. And
That was easy.
well, yeah, it does seem a little easy, doesn't it? You stick your nose through the flap. It's very dark in here. You see Mud tied to a chair with a blindfold on, and you seem to be in some sort of animal storage area with a makeshift stable. So there's a horse. There's a horse near you and a lot of stinky. It smells really bad in here. By the way, I forget. Do you have any disadvantages regarding smells that are overwhelming?
No, it's sound
Okay, cool.
that I will take extra damage from.
It does not smell right in here to you because you smell feces, you smell the hay, you smell stuff like that.
Oh god, Mud's been soiling himself. He can't hold it that long.
But
Before our adventure, I had Taco Bell. I apologize.
But the animal manure smell seems to be amplified in here.
We've discovered a super manure.
Do I smell anybody other than Mud that seems to be present at the moment?
Why don't you roll me a supersonic sense smell?
That is ultrasonic hearing, subsonic smell.
Yes.
I'm gonna blow one of my comp dice.
Okay.
What do we got? 9, 10, 15 because of the comp die.
15. You smell no one else currently in here other than you and Mud, but you definitely smell that there's been a lot of traffic. You also, with the 15, smell that there is something underlying the manure, that somebody tried to basically make it smell extra strong of stuff, of obvious stuff. But underneath you smell maybe incense or cloves.
Do I think explosives, as
No.
you can make a pretty good bomb out of manure?
No, you don't.
Seen it.
Always waiting for things to be rigged to explode, and she never explodes them.
I have exploded plenty of things this game.
Not enough.
Always a bridesmaid.
Oh,
never
don't
a
worry, there's
bride.
going to be more explosions very soon. But you guys, the other two of you, actually, Aid, you're going to join up with them as they're getting inside and all, for ease. But
I call out over comms to say where I am.
Okay, the other three of you get to the same tent, this makeshift stable tent about this time when the doggy is smelling around. Ragnarok is smelling around the room. And why don't I find out if you guys are going in or whatnot? So tell me what you guys are doing right now. Start with Walt, since you're right there.
I'm going to go outside and act as like a lookout,
Okay.
and also just start to because obviously this is tied to some mystical mumbo jumbo. Because I mean, why would anybody normal come to a Ren Fair like this to do a kidnapping? So I'm going to start activating mystical senses.
Sure. What about you, Mag Chloride? What's your action? You are muted.
Sorry, I lost you guys there for a full minute. What's going on?
You guys are approaching the makeshift tent where Brandon is smelling around, that Ragnarok is smelling around. There is some sort of makeshift stables, and yeah, you are approaching that. So you can go in, you can whatever you want to do, but you know that Ragnarok's inside.
Okay, Ragnarok can handle himself in most situations as long as there are not drugs handy. He is much like Keith Richards in that regard. I am going to do a circuit around the tent real fast, make sure there aren't ninjas hiding in the bushes or something.
Okay.
Once I finish doing the reconnoiter, I'll head inside with everybody else.
Sure. And Aid, what are you doing?
Okay, so I suppose I'm probably the most normal but looking person here at the moment. So I will just take a wander around, see if I can spot anything. Pretty much anything else, yeah, that's it really.
Yeah, you're not really spotting anything. It's a Renaissance fair, you know. It's so. But
Okay,
yeah, you.
But nothing jumps out as unusual at the moment.
Nothing unusual at the moment that you see.
Yeah, it's a Renaissance fair.
Yeah, it's a Renaissance fair. So as unusual as a Renaissance fair is.
So did Ragnarok? Is he searching while eating a giant turkey leg?
That is a
I
good
really
question.
hope.
Are you eating?
I would not have objected to running up to a barbecue and lifting a turkey leg on my way to go find, go
I would
find
assume
mud.
it would be the turkey leg and not those giant like stew bowls that they have in like the giant bowls of bread. That would be a little hard to carry.
You
sniff.
guys might have even followed a trail of turkey legs to my position.
Very possibly. And Aid, I will say there's one unusual thing for Mark Davis. You as a historian, as someone, a student of history, you go, nope, that's not right. Costume's not right. That costume's not right. And what do they think they're doing in that costume? That is what.
And someone dressed.
Why are there pirates and fairies? Why is that?
Yeah, someone dressed up as Spock for some reason. I don't know what's over there. What's that going on about?
Exactly. You're like, this is not appropriate for a Ren Fair.
There's a couple guys who go to the Colorado Ren Fair dressed up in astronaut, full Saturn V, astronaut suits, and it's always fun. Anyway, sorry, didn't mean to continue.
No problem. That sounds entertaining. So then, okay, you guys are going to do that. Walt, why don't you roll me your sense that you were going to try, mystical senses? Hey, Brandon.
All right. We try the activation, and as I put the emphasis on the word try, I do not detect anything.
Okay, you do not detect anything. Brandon, like I said, you detected that clove or incense underneath, but that's it. I don't know if you have anything else you want to do.
Mud's inside, but the place smells funny. I'm going in. Ah!
Okay. Once you fail to detect anything, are you going inside? Well.
Oops, sorry. I'll follow in our trusty nose, our seeing nose dog.
Okay.
And see if we can't.
I never get tired of hearing that phrase.
I assume that the other two, once the two of you have looked around and not found anything else, you guys are also going to go into the tent to go find Mud?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We're going to go cut to the point where you guys all get in to see Mud. At which point, the flap closes and the room starts.
Flap! I didn't go in through any flap.
The tent flap. They went through the tent flap.
There's a lot of flapping.
Once you guys get inside, the room starts to actually spin uncomfortably.
Oh, did anyone look down and see rails? I didn't realize we were walking on a railroad, but I guess we are.
I thought the Gravitrons were only at the state fair.
Oh, don't worry.
All right. So,
Well, I'm sorry. Did you not want to go inside?
no, it's already happened. I'm there. We're cool. Let's
No,
do it.
actually, I'm totally good with you not going inside.
It's okay.
Okay.
Let's go with it.
So you guys start to feel the entire room spin uncomfortably. And everything goes black for a minute. Except for you, Mag. You're immune to what is going on here because you're not alive. You actually, instead of...
Superiority.
Huh?
Technological superiority is how I
Yes,
refer to that.
technological superiority. All you see in here when you walk in is that the others of the group start to like basically go wobbly, and the floor seems fine to you. But then they go unconscious, and then you hear silence outside.
That's strange. Well, I can't say that because,
Yep.
you know.
You hear silence outside, Mike.
Okay, well, my key interest in pop culture tells me we probably either dimension shifted or time traveled, but that's just relying on, things I watch in late night movies. I try to wake up my teammates and so we can go outside and see dinosaurs or whatever is out there.
Was this a Black Mirror incident?
There was no smartphone involved. Couldn't be Black Mirror. But my money is on velociraptors or fairies outside the tent if we're taking bets.
Okay.
What about fairy velociraptors?
Even better. So I try to wake everybody up, stir them awake. Am I having luck with that? Do I need to roll?
No, go ahead and start waking people up. That's fine. At this point, though, I have a question. When you guys are out and about, how do phone calls come through to your team from?
I think they come in through the earbuds that we have established we've got.
Sure, you guys all get a phone call at the moment, as you are all starting to wake up.
Is it a group call, or we're each getting different calls?
Well, this is calling your base. So whoever would be your receptionist would be the person getting this call. It is up to you guys on who.
Probably automated, I would have thought.
Yeah, I think it's automated by Mag's brothers.
Okay. Mag's
Either
brother.
my
Sure.
dad or possibly the young girl we adopted 2 sessions back might be.
Oh, that's that as well, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not a great job thing, is it? To go, hey, come live with us. You can be our secretary.
She's being kept company by 2 Roombas and an espresso machine.
Yeah, that's okay. So your call is then through the robots would be then directed to Mud because you're Preston, right? What's your last name, by the way?
Sweeney.
Okay, Sweeney. Thank you. I was like, I knew that was Preston. Okay. You get a call on your earbud. Hello.
I do.
Hello. Is this Preston Sweeney?
Yes, it is. Who may I ask
This is
calling
Nancy
as a
Lane. I have an
secretary?
appointment with you. I'm from CPS.
Okay.
And I'm here, but you're not. So I'm afraid that if I need to examine the home and the status of your foster care status. So if you are not going to be in attendance, I will have to report this.
I'm sorry, I got stuck in a work emergency, and is there any way we can reschedule it for tomorrow?
And where is the child at this time? Have you made a proper arrangements for babysitting?
Yes, we have.
Oh, thank
We
God.
hired a nanny. When she's not in school, she's with the nanny, who I think was the same Germanic named lady we saw at Hugo's house. Hugo Severance.
Cool. Okay. I see. And is this nanny available at this time for me to examine the home? And uh, how can I get in touch with her?
I give her all the appropriate contact information
Okay.
and say if we're between the hours of 7:30 and 2:30, what's their little girl's name?
I had it.
Mary should be in school.
Mary, yes.
After 2:30, she will be with Greta. Here's Greta's information. Here's the information for the school.
Madison,
If you're
actually.
going, Madison.
Mhm.
If you're going to go, please call the principal first so they can make arrangements for you to get in because, the front door is secured. I can call and put you on the entrance list if you want.
No, that will not be necessary. I will call Miss Hayborn and and find and start the paperwork. She seems very huh?
Well, usually there's advance notice of CPS visits in the cases of adopted children. I'm surprised we didn't hear first. No, I'm suspicious. Can you tell me who you work for there at the city? Because I know pretty much everybody.
Actually, having several friends who have gone through this process, surprise visits are actually very common.
Not in Philadelphia.
Sure.
Yes.
Not in Philadelphia, not in this world. World edit. Cool.
The Epic Bamf podcast and our dramatically appropriate what is it? Public servant knowledge is just yes.
Sorry, I made you real.
No, that was awesome.
Well, as I said, I work for Child Protective Services. My name is Nancy Lane.
Okay, Nancy.
Quick, Google it.
Yes, Aid? What?
Aid said Google it because he knows me too well.
Ah.
All right, fair enough, Nancy. We'll be talking to you soon.
Well, I will contact Miss Hayborn. For your sake, I hope that everything checks out, because this certainly is going on your record.
Why?
Well, for parents that want to adopt children, I am very surprised that you are not more attentive to appointments. Besides, this was actually a scheduled appointment with Mr. Preston Sweeney.
But I adopted the child. She lives with me. They're at Philadelphia Street Services.
According to the paperwork, it says that Preston.
Are you discriminating against me because I'm an artificial life form? I feel like my civil rights are being oppressed right now. I'm sorry. Give me the name of your supervisor.
I've gone outside and started to look around for these dinosaurs that I've been promised.
No, of course not.
I'll have you know there are several
city
statutes that establish my status. Sorry, please continue.
Well, I am not.
You were explaining how you weren't a biological supremacist. Please continue. You have my full attention.
Well, it does say that this is being adopted by 3 gentlemen: a Mag Chloride, a Preston Sweeney, and a Okay, why can't I find my thingy?
As I'm waking up from the obvious mystical hangover,
there's the
tap the mute button and
Shiloh Reed.
Took you a minute for that. So not only are you a biological supremacist, but you're an alphabetical supremacist as well.
No, of course not. My paperwork was just getting shuffled. Mr. Shiloh Reeves, I assume.
I'm sensing a lot of hate toward 3 obviously loving men who just want to raise a child together. I'm sensing a lot of hate here.
Okay. Why don't you guys make me a presence roll on her at this point? Pick one person to be primary and the other 2 people to be can assist on this.
Oh dear.
And I apologize for my notes messing up. In between our last session and this, I rearranged all my notes, and so I'm not used to the new arrangement of them. And we had a break, so that didn't help.
We were on break.
Yes, we were.
Yeah, we get a 6-day break every week.
Touche, sir. Touche.
Okay.
I made my wizardry roll, and I
You're wizarding
activate
your presence over
super
the phone.
presence. Mm-hmm.
Super
Okay.
wizardry presence roll.
Okay. You're sending
So
magic through the telephone wave. So the other two, I guess you're going to be primary, so the other two can assist, because the other two certainly have been trying to assist.
I rolled 1d for presence, and another competency die I blew. Total of 11.
Cool. So, Walt, you get an extra die. And Nick,
uh,
did you want to try and help as well?
Am I still tied to the chair?
Yes, you are. Nobody said that they untied you.
Rag didn't bother.
What am I
Rag went
rolling for?
somewhere else.
Are you sitting in the chair?
I thought that was a choice. I go ahead and untie him.
Just as
Thought
Mag
he
does
was
not wish
into
to be
it. I don't
judged,
know.
he didn't judge you.
You're untying him while you guys are talking on. The three of you are talking on
Okay.
the phone.
What am I rolling for? I'm sorry. Competency die?
No, you're
or
rolling
presence
to
check?
try and assist Walt because you've been on the phone conversation.
Okay.
I don't know. Preston just sit there and took it
Yeah,
from her.
Preston,
and,
you're not gonna get any help. You're not gonna be any help. I'm not gonna let you. Walt, go ahead and roll your roll.
I'll continue sitting in the chair then.
22.
Okay, 22. Well, no. Look, I'm sorry. I have no prejudice against a thruple who chooses to engage with a robot and.
See, your words say that, but your attitude tells a whole different story.
We're sensing a lot of hostility here.
And sincerely, I apologize.
Nancy, would you
we can
prefer to?
reschedule.
Would you like to reschedule next week at a dramatically appropriate time so that you can recover yourself and possibly seek some help for all this animosity you feel?
Yes, of course I will do so. I will see you all next week for an interview and paperwork. Have a great day, Mr. Reeves. Thank you. Bye. And she just hangs up.
I find that very disheartening that she only said goodbye to me and not to you guys. We're gonna have to list that in the report.
I'm deeply offended.
Your racism, man, is just up there in front.
I walk up to because he's still tied up in the chair.
Yes,
and,
apparently he's still tied.
I take an arrow out and start cutting the ropes.
Okay.
And as I'm next to him, I say, honey, if we're going to keep missing these appointments, we're going to have to do something about this.
Well, I didn't plan this very well, and to be honest, I forgot, and my phone is not in my pocket.
This is like that time when we all went as the Britneys and nobody could coordinate our outfits. I'm feeling a little let down.
Hey, Walt, as you start untying the cord that's on him, cutting the cord on him, before you actually start putting the blade down, I'm going to tell you, he's not tied with rope. He is tied with he's tied with sash, and the sash has runes all over them. So it's up to you on if you want to cut them anyway at that point or not.
Something tells me somebody wrote some splody script.
X, I really don't want to explode in arcane magic. If you could fix this, that would be great.
So you prefer necromantic magic so that if you do die, you just come right back? That's a joke.
Sure,
I kid. I pat him on the shoulder.
Okay, so Mark, when they start talking about that, you also notice, what they're talking about. You can make me a scholar roll.
Okie dokie. Academia.
Can I assist with occult?
Yes, you may assist with occult.
I've got 3D in each, academia and occult. So.
Cool.
I got a 10.
Oh wow, magic! I got a 5.
So Walt gave you an additional die.
Okay. Oh, groovy. 9.
Didn't get to the 12 I was hoping for. You recognize these. They seem familiar to you, but you can't place why at the moment. Maybe you will later.
It's that ancient cheesesteak menu.
It's the ancient cheesesteak menu. Oh my gosh, yes. These are the most ancient cheesesteak coupons ever. Mag needs these.
If you pull those out of a stone, you become king of Philadelphia. That's how it started.
I liked it.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Get a comp die for
I'll
that.
be right back. I need more. You're very generous. I'll be right back.
Okay.
He's refilling coffee.
I rarely railroad you guys. I just like to point that out.
All right. So, I feel that this is the ancient cheesesteak menu that will one day make me the future king of Philadelphia?
No.
Or
No,
do
you
I
do
get a
not.
sense that this? Okay. So, I'm going to activate wizardry and try and switch into super senses again
Okay.
to see how I can unravel this.
Okay, sure.
So activation roll was actually really good. Hopefully the regular roll will be just as no. I got 9.
A 9. Okay.
So not the cheesesteak menu, but definitely a menu
This
of some sort.
this magic seems very foreign to you, but like I said, it seems Mark Davis, you really recognize these seem really familiar, but you're not figuring out why. Um, what would before you while you I let you guys think for a moment, I'm going to cut to Brandon, who's been outside. Brandon, you go outside, and you are on not in Philadelphia anymore, as far as you can tell. You are in a crag-filled, dark place. The lighting, even the sun here, seems odd. It's this dark, purpley emanating light from the sky, and
I thought you said they weren't in Philadelphia anymore.
I need to turn 8 up.
Okay.
I cannot
sorry,
hear him.
Sorry.
Oh, hey, that was great.
What did 8 say? I need to turn 8's volume.
He thought that you weren't. You said we weren't in Philadelphia anymore.
Ah, okay. I'm turning 8 volume up. Now I should be able to hear him. So you are the ground is filled with crags and fissures, and it smells sulfuric out here to you.
So we've crossed over into Jersey.
Oh, Jersey.
Anything look or smell or sound alive out here?
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a roll.
And I would like a crunchy roll if you're rolling stuff.
I have got a 9.
You got a 9. You actually do start hearing out in the distance some sort of chittering. Gibbering is closer to it. It's out in the distance. And looking out into the distance, you kind of make out that there are some ruins, maybe, of, some sparse ruins out in the distance.
Definitely Jersey.
Definitely Jersey.
Definitely Jersey.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right off the turnpike.
It's
I'm going to hold
smell.
you there while I see what people wanted to be. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna go back in and go. Hey, we're in Mordor.
How is Philadelphia CPS able to call us in Mordor? Is she in league with Sauron?
No more late night TV for these guys.
Your comm links are still working.
No, can we go find Sam and Frodo in the mountain? Cause that was awesome when X Archer had me watch that.
Is what kind of chair is Mud in?
Wooden chair.
So if we strap him to mag chloride's back, kind of like C-3PO in The Empire Strikes Back, so that we don't have to remove him from the chair, we can actually get the hell out of here.
Okay,
sure.
With Mud's personality, I'm going to throw out Empire quotes at you. You've left me very little choice in the matter.
Brandon,
I apologize.
What is your opinion of him being tied to you, as they're not going to remove him from the chair?
I am not into that. But we could maybe hook him up in a travois behind me.
I can probably carry him if you don't mind me saying Hodor every now and then.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I
think I've got super strength on here.
okay.
No, I don't.
And if not, you should.
Probably should.
No, you should buy. You should buy a couple of dice of super strength because we've had a couple of
Incidents where you
experience
have to
points.
carry, experience points, and you've had to carry people or things a few times.
Yeah, how many comp dice have we earned over the course of this, Alice?
You guys have earned 2 comp die, permanent comp dice.
Okay.
So could I just put 2D in super strength right now and then carry Mud around?
Sure. I do
Okay.
need people to give me their updated character sheets, though. As a reminder, send me updated character sheets. So,
Right on.
but Aid, you actually start feeling kind of funny. And by the way, this was supposed to go down a whole lot of different if Aid showed up last week, but it ended up being Ren Faire, so I had to wing it. So,
Okay.
Aid, you actually start feeling a pull.
Okay.
In a direction outside the tent, and that weird darkness that you were feeling before, you remember feeling when you allowed Green Knight to sense into the nexus. It's
Yeah.
pulsing all around you, and you're feeling that, and you're just it's just kind of sending tingles all over your body, and it's not something you're very comfortable with.
Okay.
But yeah, it's
cool.
pulling you out. And when
So this is something to do with the ley lines, the dark ley lines, yeah?
Yeah, you think that this might be connected to that, yes.
Okay, then I'll
Alice?
explain that to everybody else, yeah.
Oops. Yes, Brandon?
I'm gonna go destroy the chair.
Okay.
I was thinking I'd ask about breaking the chair, but...
You break the chair.
Oh,
And
God.
the chair falls apart, and you're able to worm mud out of it without ever untying anything, and the sashes kind of just falls to the ground.
Someone did not plan that very well. I will say. Not the best trap. Okay.
So, Professor, because I don't remember what your name is like this. You're the smart guy. So, how do we get back from Mordor?
I don't know.
I thought this is what you studied. Like all that.
No. Myths and legends and other stuff. I don't study alternate universes and pocket dimensions. That's not something on the normal schedule. So
I don't understand.
So under the myths and legends tab, is there a way to repower you so that you are all again?
That I have no idea. The whole thing was an accident anyway. So the idea, I don't know what started off in the first place. So I couldn't even tell you how to reclaim that magic to actually get me repowered. All I can say is the stuff that was going on the ley lines appears to be emanating from somewhere outside this tent at this current point in time.
So, like, can we plug you into the ley line and kind of like a stick shift we're trying to get
you
going,
also
just run you down a hill?
You used some of your magic to help boost Green Knight at the time, so there's a possibility you might be able to do something about it as well. You might be able to. You've probably got more chance. Because don't forget, I'm a regular guy now. I'm not the greatest thing at this. This is not my forte. So maybe you might be able to tag something in there.
So let's try that, and I'm going to need more situations where we say the word forte.
Okay, I will make a note of
that. Is there? So as I'm going to work on that while everybody else is getting us the hell out of here.
Sure.
So that we can figure out what's going on
and
where we need to go next.
Or out of here, just staying in the tent.
One does not simply just walk into Mordor.
Okay.
That's true, they don't.
So,
I think I will go and step outside and see if I can get some kind of sense of direction of exactly where this pool's supposed to be going. If it's like north, south, east, west, or whatever from where we technically are.
Sure. Why don't you, when you go outside, like I described, apparently it's a lot like Mordor, but why don't you roll me another academia or occult?
Okay, cool. I'll do occult. That's better.
I'm all for
13.
rolling my academia.
Sure, Brandon, you can roll your academia. I apologize that I forgot you have academia.
So, is this can I use my knowledgeable but not factual?
Yes.
Awesome. So I'm rocking a 9 on my academia.
Okay. What about you, Aid?
You guys didn't know the dog knew stuff, huh?
13. Yep, I've got 13.
Okay. Brandon, you've heard of stories about this, and being that you take it very literal.
Histories.
Yes, histories. You know that you recognize the way that this place is painted isn't so much Mordor, but a prison a prison from long ago.
Azkaban?
Sure. It's kind of like Azkaban. It's more like Alcatraz for one person. But you don't know enough about who the prison was for, etc., like that. Aid. You actually remember studying that at one point, Merlin and Sir Gawain took her own magic and used it against her and trapped her in a pocket dimension. The description of the pocket dimension comes down to something very similar to this.
You're talking about Morgana Le Fay?
Yes, Morgana Le Fay.
Fay.
Yes.
Okay. Right.
Morgana
Okay, that's
Le
a bit of
Fay.
a puzzler. Okay, so I'll explain it to everybody else. Just go. This seems to have, possibility of some kind of thing. Yeah, Morgana Le Fay and like Merlin stuff. This is very unusual.
Did anyone catch you up on that session where you met a woman named Morgan from your school?
Pardon?
Alice, could you catch Mark up on that?
Oh, sure, absolutely. So, Mark, you were being hauled off to the hospital while your party members were helping the civilians at the school. You know that the school recently took on a couple guest lecturers from various parts of the world. One was from London, and her name is Morgan Le Maire. She actually, as you were being hauled off, you did see that she was being tended to by ex-archer, Mud, and Mag.
Okay, I'm sure it's just a coincidence.
Absolutely just a coincidence. She happens to also be the woman dressed in red, the red business suit, pencil skirt with the black shirt.
He never saw that. He never figured out who that was.
He saw her at the beginning of the session.
Yeah, vaguely, yes. In passing, yes, I did. Yes, yes.
She was.
Yeah, but I thought he never identified her.
Yeah, that's true.
No,
but you were talking about how she was in shadow and such like that.
But you see the woman in the light. You see that she's Morgan Le Maire, and then you see that she happens to be wearing the same clothes of the woman that was auditing your class. That's what I meant to explain.
Okay.
Okay. So sure, it's just coincidence.
It is, of course, because that'd be crazy.
That'd be absolutely crazy. So
okay, but I'll tell them anyway.
You also know that traversing this place to find the way out, this place is a nightmare of her own design. So you guys will probably deal with phantasms of your own past and your own demons.
Yeah, I think we're in like maybe a Prison 42 kind of situation. Maybe that's around here. Reed could probably help us out.
that almost but then it
that's the negative zone prison in Marvel Comics.
That's funny. Okay.
Yeah, they're the ones that tell you about the true facts there.
Also, Aid, thinking about that and realizing that, you now recognize where the runes on that sash came from. That sash has the same runes as Gawain's belt, the belt that turned you into the Green Knight.
Okay, so they aren't dangerous?
Well, they're the same type of rune. You don't read the language, but you do recognize that it's the same language. So,
but just obviously scripted in different order.
Right,
yeah.
Different order.
Okay. Okay, well, I will do something crazy. I'll actually go and pick it up.
Okay. Pick up the tied up sash.
Yep. So when I pick it up, does anything unusual happen?
No, nothing unusual happens.
Okay, then I will just put it in a pocket and keep hold of it.
Okay. So we went back inside in the tent. Mag, what are you doing right now?
All right, just so I'm clear, sounds like Mark is investigating the sash that was tying up Mud. Mud is now free of both chair and sash.
Yes.
Ragnarok looked outside, and X-Archer is trying to figure out... What are you trying to figure out?
How to
X-Archer?
jumpstart Green Knight's powers back. So from the sound of things, it's a belt that does it.
Maybe we should tie that
Should
sash
be.
around his waist and let him speak the word Shazam. And
Shazam!
all right, I'll poke my head outside just to see what Ragnarok was talking about. I assume it's a blasted hellscape with pink skies and
Purple sky. Yep.
purple skies and roving bands of demonic dogs. And
You walking carpet I can't see.
do I see any wardrobes?
No, you do not see any wardrobes.
Okay, I got nothing then. I go back in the tent.
Sure, I'll say that there's a wardrobe. Yeah, actually, yeah. If you want to see a wardrobe, I will let you see a wardrobe out in the distance near the ruins.
I would also like a lion and a witch.
How far can I get there in one turn?
No, it's actually off in the distance. It's a little bit, so you can see that it's a large wardrobe. Probably, yeah, you can get there in a turn. You can be fast and get there in a turn.
I don't like the way you're smiling right now. I'm going to think about this.
Okay, you're gonna think about this. Not going to the wardrobe. You're muted.
I'm mulling it over.
Mulling it over, sure. Preston, aka Mud, what are you doing?
I'm strapped to the back of a robot, which is awesome.
No, you're not.
no,
You're freed. They
I'm
freed
not?
you.
Oh, okay. Thank God.
I busted your
All right.
chair.
Nick, maybe you should turn off that soundtrack. I don't think you're hearing game today.
Yeah, Ragnarok destroyed the chair while you were sitting in it. You might have some splinters,
Yep.
but you are free.
Okay, I would like to heal myself because I have a splinter on my posterior and
Sure.
it's starting to annoy me.
Okay,
All right.
sure. Anything else you'd like to do?
I'm going to look around and kind of investigate things and see what
In the
comes.
tent or outside the tent?
Let's go outside the tent. Everyone else is inside the tent, right?
You know, Mud, there's a wardrobe out there in the distance. You should check that out.
Oh, God. Okay, I'm going to go investigate the wardrobe. Let's
So
see.
you
It
go
might present
outside.
a plot.
There's like we said. There's a fissures and crags, and it's a kind of a dark looking place.
Well,
and-
and I jumped through portals, so let's take a look.
Okay, so you go out and you start walking towards the wardrobe.
Okay.
Okay.
And
First of all, you start walking towards the direction he pointed the wardrobe. You don't see a wardrobe, though. Instead, actually, you see... actually, I'm going to get to you in just a second, because I don't want this to change anything that somebody else might do. Walt, what is your action right now?
I am seeing what I can do to jumpstart the Green Knight so that we can get him back into the fight.
Okay.
Using an occult roll.
Okay.
16.
Okay, 16. This is beyond what you're accustomed to. Like, when you reach out to try and jumpstart him, he doesn't feel like the same person that he did before.
Like he's more squishy, or
Like
he's using different hair gel.
Well, like before you felt that there were two entities. Now there's only one. You literally don't feel the other entity to pull out.
Are you... Okay, so they're separate entities. He's feeling... Which entity is he
You're
feeling?
feeling Mark Davis. You don't feel the Green Knight entity in him to try and wake up right now.
No chance of a merger? Banner Hulk.
So like I look to Mark Davis and I say, did they take something from you? Did somebody touch you inappropriately?
Oh wow.
The other thing we're fighting, the other night thing when we're fighting the dragon, that's what happened.
I told you.
I lost my power. Yeah.
Is your power tied to an object?
Not that I'm aware of, not anymore. It might have been when I was granted it, but beforehand, I mean, it seems to be additional and whenever needed. So,
and I'm not one to normally pry into a secret identity because and I tap on the mask. I said, but how did this happen in the first place? Was it late night with the girls and just things got weird, or is this,
This conversation's getting weird.
yeah? Did you stumble into a secret cult thing?
It was. It's a bit blurry, to be honest. It was like a field trip to find some research and Cairns and Stonehenge kind of thing, places like that. And yeah, I don't remember everything perfectly. All I know is it's somehow bonded to me during that trip. So.
Huh.
All I know now is it's not responding again. So I mean, it could be gone. It might have just done its deeds that needed to be fulfilled and gone. I honestly don't know what the situation was. It's like I have a very tentative link to it anyway.
So what you're saying is the crash of Google Hangouts has affected our ability to connect.
That would be a fairly good analogy.
Shit. Do I have anything in my background that might suggest on how to reconnect his connection? I mean, does he need a different cell phone carrier? Well, what can we do here?
Based on your background, you guys need to find the other entity again.
Oh. Let's go to the wardrobe.
Okay,
come on, field trip.
Okay,
It's
so
time for a quest.
so I'm going to get back to Nick. Nick, I just sent you a message, but
Got
I'm
it.
going to now relay this to the group. When you, instead of the wardrobe, what you see is your best friend and commanding officer from your last deployment, and his name is Jamie Foster, and he's laying on the ground, and you remember him just as you last saw him. He's still alive, but the ground around him is sand, and there's fragments of wall, and there's and ruin around him. And you remember he was hit by an IED, and he had his legs blown off, and he's just lying there with his legs blown off. He's bleeding, and he's calling out for help, and he's reaching out, trying to basically find someone to help him. And this is who you see.
Okay. I'm a little confused, disoriented, because one minute I'm running towards a wardrobe that I don't see, and all of a sudden now I'm back in the sandbox. I instantly fall back into the feelings I was feeling at that time and place, at that time in my life. So I'm going to run over there and start rendering first aid, apply tourniquets, do the ABCs, check for everything.
When the rest of you go outside, you guys see Mud cradling rocks.
I'm not one to judge.
And he seems to be saying stuff.
What kind of stuff is he saying? Do we hear all this?
Well, what would you be saying, Mud? Why don't you say what you would be telling Jamie?
Sir, it's going to be okay. I got you. Don't worry. Hey, stay with me. Tell me about your family. Stay with me, man. You're doing good. It's just a scratch. You're going to be all right. You're going to be all right. I'm applying a tourniquet. I'm stopping the bleeding. You're going to be fine. I got the medevac en route. You're going to be just fine, sir. You're going to get a nice paid vacation in Germany for a while.
Hey, how come when I'm hurt he tells me to walk it off, but these rocks he's really concerned with?
I can just imagine what it looks like on the outside. I'm applying a fake tourniquet to a rock. Stabbing it with morphine.
Stabbing it with imaginary morphine. Yep.
Needles are breaking. My lord, he's a superhuman.
Okay.
Mad Chloride, do you want to slap him to wake him up?
I want to slap him.
Dude, let's all slap him. See if we can knock him out of it.
Sure.
I tap him gently.
But you're tapped on your shoulder, and you look back, and it's one of your one of the members of your crew. One of your team, one of your squad.
One of my teammates.
Yep,
okay.
One of your teammates.
Hey, what are you doing? Come on, help me out here. Get the pressure ready. Get the Skidco ready. We gotta come over to the LZ so we can get him out of here.
It's Stevenson.
Stevenson, hurry the F up, man. I don't know what else to say. Usually, like
Mag,
when
I
this
didn't know your
really
real
happened
name.
in my real life, it was like when I said that, hup, 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 go get the damn skid go before I hurt you.
I think we need to take Mud back to the tent.
Okay.
I think everything was okay back in the tent. We gotta go
Okay.
back to the tent.
Okay.
I think maybe plan carry Mud on my back was abandoned too soon.
Okay. Well, you're going to start on that. While you're dealing with that, I'm going to jump to. I'm going to jump to a few other people.
Can we talk Mud into going back into the tent? This seems like a pretty solid illusion he's trapped in.
Yeah. Well, you start talking about that, and at this point, I'm going to jump around a few people. For you, Mag, you actually, as you're tapping him on the shoulder and you're like, let's get him out of this. You start seeing him instead of where Mud is. You see your creator, your father, and instead of him being bent down on the ground, like administering first aid, he seems to actually be bent over a workbench, and he seems to be putting something together. And you suddenly feel, huh?
I'm watching my own construction, aren't I?
Yes.
It's unfortunate that all I have are these terrible second-hand parts. This will never be as good as I want it to be.
This is witchcraft, Baba Yaga.
That explains the Betamax logos across my torso. Friends, I think we're all having very intense emotional hallucinations.
You actually feel like as he's as he's putting the pieces together, you actually can kind of feel the stuff coming on, like the arm getting attached to your torso, and you're like, that's weird. I don't usually feel that kind of sensation, but I actually feel like there's something being attached, and it's kind of disconcerting. And he doesn't seem to like really acknowledge that you are even talking to him, because he seems to basically be very engrossed in building whatever he is building.
Don't really know how to respond to that.
Okay.
I guess I just kind of, mentioned to my teammates that, hey, this is going on. You guys are going to see similar visions soon. I think we need to find a way to mitigate this so we can try to get Mark powered back up and get out of here.
Okay. Well, speaking of soon, before that even comes out, Walt, this is going to be an interesting one for you. You are...
Yes.
Well, you're 8 years old again. And you are hanging out with your uncle. You're spending...
This is going to be really weird in, a leather costume with basically a blacked out hockey mask, especially as an 8-year-old.
Is
it that uncle? Oh God, we're going to have an issue. Go ahead.
You're spending the weekend with your uncle. And
how many sleeping bags?
Multiple, okay? Multiple. And you remember, he, you can see, he tells you, no, Shiloh, I need to, I'm so sorry. I know that we're supposed to go to the park this afternoon. I promise I'll take you. I just really need to take care of this one thing, and I will be there. We can go to the park this afternoon, I promise. And you're very upset because he was known to break promises like this and tell you that suddenly something came up and he needs to go deal with stuff. And this is happening again.
I would like to resist this illusion.
Okay.
Because I know it's crap.
Sure.
Using my occult.
Sure.
I'm going to add a competency die.
Okay.
Ooh, now we're talking. 21.
21. Okay. What you see at that point is he walks away, and you can, like, this vision starts to fade out of your perspective as you watch him go up and start speaking to another man. And the other man is holding the hand of a little girl you recognize as Bethany, and he directs the little girl to go into the room that you are in, and that's when everything fades away completely, and you're back in this barren landscape.
Yes. I go through the comm set and tell everybody, hey, so, Mystery Science Theater 3000, the creepy edition, is just that. It's just illusions. So try and resist, supersonic smell, ultrasonic smell, supersonic hearing kind of deal. Just make sure you resist everything with every fiber of your being so we can find the Green Knight's power and get the flock out of Dodge.
Aid, I'm going to jump... Actually, Brandon, I'm going to jump to you next.
Hey, I saw my spirit animal.
You remember, you feel suddenly back when you were in a veterinary hospital, and you had just been blown up. You've got bits of fur off of your body. You are, torn up. You're in basically the dog version of a full body cast, and you feel yourself sewn up. You are aching in pain, and you hear people talking, and it's sounding like
Charlie Brown.
I look at X Archer and I go, what? What did you say? But it comes out. As I'm not understanding his language anymore.
Yep. You see your partner, the officer, and he's looking much more clean cut than he was the last time you went to his apartment.
You mean he's not covered in hookers and blow like he was last time I saw him?
What I used to call Fridays. Whatever.
Yep. We don't judge.
I judge, Alice. Ragnarok is full of judgment.
Okay. And okay. Well, Toby is there, basically sitting beside you, and he's very, very upset. And he says, I'll get this guy. I'm going to get this guy that did this to you. And
he says,
yep, exactly.
Good boy.
Your whole, and good boy. You hear every once in a while, good boy, and he's petting you, and he's trying to calm you, and you're in a lot of freaking pain. Anything you'd like to say, react to, or anything?
I would like to replace the rocks and let Mud take care of me.
That's a good call, I think.
Hey, Nick, why is your video off? Is that on purpose?
Because he's doing things that are unspeakable at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm eating a Whopper, and I don't think anybody wants to see that.
Okay.
now, is it a Burger King Whopper, or is it like
the
jug of Whoppers that you get when you go to a movie?
All right, here we go.
Oh, we got video, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, look at you.
I'm living my fat kid life right now. I'm enjoying it.
Alice, I'm going to pop 2 competency dice and roll my will against this.
Okay, go ahead.
The dice do not love me. What do I got? 9, 13, 15.
Okay. The pain starts to subside and it starts to fade out from your body. And we're going to deal with that and deal with the next person. Aid. You, Mark Davis, remember something that isn't your own memory. This is strange to you.
Okay.
You remember walking up the steps of the road to a castle to meet your death.
Okay.
You remember...
Doesn't that just mean that school's back in session?
No, you literally
Yeah.
remember that as a man of honor, you promised to come to this site today to have yourself beheaded because you beheaded someone else.
Okay.
You what would you like to how would you like to react?
Okay. So what's the situation? Am I kind of like in full automated mode where I can't stop walking, or can I stop and take in the surroundings and see
You
what I
can
can
stop
actually?
and take in the surroundings.
Okay, so that's what I'll do. I'll make an academia check to see if I can spot anything that seems to be relevant. I can actually kind of pinpoint exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Okay.
Okay, but not with that roll. I won't. That was a 6. So
Okay. Yeah, you definitely don't know where you are. Um, but you.
is it raining?
It is raining. Yes.
No, I'm in England. Okay, right there we know.
That's funny.
I nominate for competency dice.
Yes. Okay. Get a
I
competency
second.
die.
Yeah.
Get a competency die.
Okay, that's cool.
But
Okay, so yeah.
You remember that you are heading down the road, and you're feeling very tired, and you've been traveling a long time.
Okay. So I look at myself and see what I'm actually wearing. Am I wearing like proper armor? Or am I actually in my so I'm not in my kind of plant body armor? I'm actually just wearing green tinted armor or
You're wearing normal armor.
normal armor. Yeah, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll carry on then and see if I can actually meet someone that I actually recognise, or at least give me some clue of exactly what's going on.
Okay. Well, 2 of you have shaken this off. At this point, Mike, I think that your intention is that you want to try and shake this off, correct?
Well, yes.
Okay. You're caught up in this, and you can roll me a will or something. Basically, tell me how you are going to try and pull yourself out of being in this scene. That is very difficult for you to watch.
Willpower, I've got 2D, so 2D6 is a 9.
Okay.
I'm thinking I just reboot.
You're just going to reboot yourself. Okay. As you start to shut down,
yeah.
you notice, you realize you're not the only project he's working on this table. He's got these schematics on the table that you can see, and he's got these parts that never made it onto your body.
So I have more brothers out there than I knew about.
Or maybe he just augmented more humans. Who knows? But yeah, that's what the last thing you see before you shut your body down. So at this point,
all right.
We're going to have you reboot. Nick, you are fully entrenched in this. There's nothing that you see. It seems like you're right in the foxhole. You have right in the sandbox, and there's nothing that will convince you right now to try and make a save or try and get out of it, which is totally cool.
So I'm in a full-on illusion. I'm back in the stand, fully experiencing and living that moment all over again.
Cool. So.
Okay.
Brandon and Walt, you guys are the first to start coming out of it. And Mag, you start coming out of it moments later. You see, as you guys are readjusting to the barren landscape, that while your friend Mud is still interacting with rocks, your Mark Davis has started walking off in a direction and seeming to basically he's just marching off, and he's marching off kind of oddly, like he's wearing something really heavy on his body or something, but he's just, walking very stiffly.
I've seen the professor walk like that. It's when he has clothes on. He's weak.
Every week. Every week.
I look at X Archer and I'm like, the enchantment on the dead swamps has obviously moved. Wherever we are in Mordor has that too.
So how do you suggest a counter, faithful friend?
We need to. Well, there we had to stay away from the lights. So this whole place kind of glows purple, which is messed up, I think. So let's find a way out of here. But first, I'm gonna go get the professor.
Let's do that.
Okay. You go and you go and you go up to the professor, and the professor doesn't seem to notice you there.
What do you mean? He doesn't go, "Oh, good, trusty steed," and mount me?
Oh my gosh, that'd be epic. Abe, would you like to do that? I will allow you to do that.
If you wander in, I could possibly mistake him for that. That's perfectly fine. Yeah.
Sure, Brandon. Yeah. So you mistake Brandon for being your trusty steed that you've been walking alongside.
Hey, X Archer. I'm not certain how I'm supposed to feel about this, but he's coming with us now.
Well, that's something.
Actually, he keeps trying to steer you in a different direction.
So yeah, so if I'm on his back, am I seeing myself get closer and closer to the castle, or am I seeing myself being steered away from?
You're being steered away from the castle at the moment once you're on his back.
Then I will try and come on now. Try and steer back.
Where are we going? The horse looks back at you. And
yeah.
whinnies.
Oh yeah, exactly. So okay, calm down.
Do you want me to see where we're going? I can always start running away if we need. X.
Yeah. Let's try and get a direction distance and freaking get the hell out of here if we can.
And
But
Abe,
first
you're definitely getting closer to the castle now.
Okay. So is there any sign of anyone outside the castle guards or anything on the battlements, or it just like smells or fires or anything kind of inside, or?
No, it's a empty castle as far as you can tell. Very very dead and quiet.
Okay. But I still got the same feeling that I should be here to basically face execution.
Face Burnlack, yes.
Okey-dokey.
Burnlack.
Do you want to start monologuing there, Sir Knight?
Your horse is neighing at you. Neigh.
I can't think of a good excuse to say, oh no. So no, I'll just carry on moving forward and see what happens when I get to the actual gates.
Okay, I'll start. Well, you, Mud, and Mag are standing here while the doggy is heading off with the other one. What do you guys?
We're standing. I mean, we should probably follow.
Okay, well,
that way
we've
we're
got
all
Mud,
together.
who seems to still be cradling rocks.
Screaming out, Lieutenant Dan.
How many rocks is he cradling, or is it just the one?
Just the one. And he seems to be applying, fake tourniquets and, stabbing something with an EpiPen and morphine pen.
I grab it at around where its head would be.
Okay.
And start dragging it in the direction that that Mark and Ragnarok are going.
Okay.
And I'm like, "Come on, trooper, gotta medevac this asshole."
Okay. So Mud, at this point, yeah, in your vision, the medevac's arriving, and they got him on a gurney, and they are starting to move off.
All right. I'm like, hey man, the IV line's only so long. Wait up.
Okay.
And I start following.
Sure. The ground here there's something just that doesn't feel right to you as it's going. Things are, as you start to move, things start to kind of interpose. Like you start having flashes of not being here, but in a darker place, and then it flashes back to the place that you are, kind of like a malfunctioning holodeck.
Oh.
Except the other side of the holodeck is this purple light with the crags and such like that, and you keep going back and forth in the little bits. So you can try and tell me if you want to try and get out of it. You're welcome to give me whatever roll you'd like and tell me how you're trying to power yourself
will?
out of it.
Am I out of the fantasy enough? I mean, is it glitching enough where I realize that I have superpowers and I can?
No, not at the moment.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to use will to try and focus, I guess.
Okay.
So
Focus.
focus, and I rolled an 8. No, sorry, that's not an 8. That's a 7.
That's a 7. Okay. Yeah, you know that something's wrong, but you're triggering on that PTSD so much that this is the scene you're in. So we're gonna deal with that for the moment.
Okay.
You're gonna be entrenched in that for the moment. And you guys are as a group following. Mag, would you like to do anything different than follow?
I don't know enough about the situation to really think of any course of action to be more effective than anything else. So
Okay.
Hey, how about one of you rides on Mag and rides next to this dude, and maybe he'll talk to you because he doesn't want to talk to the horse.
X-Archer, you want to jump on my shoulders and I'll bang a couple coconuts together and we'll pretend?
Oh my god.
And we've got
One day at the Ren Fair, and this is what happens. I go piggyback on the guy.
By the way, I want some more turkey legs.
And you start coconutting to. Okay, so clickety clack.
Where did he get coconuts?
I don't know.
I always carry a couple.
I don't know.
Never know.
Are they really good accompaniment to cheesesteaks?
You would be surprised.
Oh my god.
All right, so clip clop.
Okay.
X-Archer, do your best. Whatever you do when you're trying to talk someone out of an hallucination.
Okay.
Forsooth, good sir, doth thou knoweth where thy are?
So, aide, Mark Davis, a rider comes out of the keep to meet you.
Okay.
And apparently he says exactly what Walt just said.
Oh no, you have to repeat it. Word for word. I'm messing with you.
Forsooth, dost thou know where thee is?
GM gets a comp die. What happens, Mark?
What does he appear to be dressed in? Is he dressed in armor? Is he a civilian?
He's dressed in clothes like he would be a servant.
Okay. So I say no. I have no idea where I am.
Good sir, thou arteth in a mystical illusion for thine benefit to recapture thine self forthwith.
What you hear is thine sir.
Now.
You are approaching. You are on the. Brandon, what the frick?
I'm like looking over at X-Archer and Mag, just trying to figure out what the heck is he talking about.
Good sir, you are on the road to the Green Chapel. Is what you hear instead, Mark.
Okay. Then I will say, thank you, sir. And then carry on trying along.
Okay.
Have I had the experience of what the Green Chapel is? Do I have any knowledge of exactly what that would entail?
Yeah. Well, roll me academia.
Okay, 3D, and we've got 12.
12. The Green Chapel is where Sir Gawain gained the belt that prevented Sir Bertilac from actually hurting him. I assume you, as a player, know the story, right? Because you chose the story.
I do, but
Okay.
I had a different part of the story in mind.
Okay.
So this is very interesting.
You didn't give me the other part of the story, so I went and did a bunch of research.
I didn't. that's cool.
Okay, cool. So,
Okay, that's fair enough.
Quick
the Green
maintenance
Chapel is where
question.
he received the belt, yes?
Last week I was down a composure die from
You're healed.
gunfire. Awesome.
Yeah, we'll get back to why the gunfire was that way in another episode. Not today. So,
Okay, that's cool. So at the moment, I've still got no reason to doubt that it's an illusion because I'm hearing different things and I'm obviously thinking, hey, I'm going to get a belt.
oops. Okay. Actually, at that point, you realize, wait, I'm not supposed to know that I'm going to get a belt.
Okay. Then I may start questioning what's going on then.
Okay.
So yeah, so what I'll do is I will use my academia again to see if I can effectively like replay the story across in my mind and then figure out as it's actually part of the story and use that to try and break the illusion.
Sure.
Okay. Oh, and it's a pretty good roll. It's 13.
Okay, 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, you start slowly coming out of it as well to this. At this point, you guys start all like I said, Brandon, you were hearing something off in the distance. That faded away, and now you hear that same gibbering out in the distance again. And
Anybody else hearing that? Those are like monsters. I think they're from the ones that plant a face sucker on you and then burst out of your belly. But they're out there. Does anybody else hear that?
I don't know. Do we hear it?
why don't everybody else make me awareness checks?
5.
5. Okay.
5.
Nope, you do not hear it.
I rolled a 10.
10. Nick, you start hearing enemies approaching.
6.
You think that you guys are walking into enemy territory or something. There's enemies incoming. You hear that.
Oh, great.
6. Okay.
Okay.
You do not hear it either.
No one did Admiral Akbar. Come on, man.
It's a trap.
It's a wrap.
But what you guys all do hear is a scream that sounds actually vaguely familiar to most of you. Well, actually all of you, except for Nick right now. And the scream
Nope,
comes
fancy
from
that.
that voice that you hear when Mark is the Green Knight.
Okay.
Now everybody should have heard that one.
And can we pinpoint where it came from, whichever direction, or obviously
Yeah.
I kind of like slide off a Ragnarok and go, oh, sorry, yeah, okay, yeah. Can you hear that?
Alice, I'm gonna go ahead and roll my hearing.
Okay.
I'm gonna pop my remaining 2 comps.
Okay.
I have got 11, 15, 19.
Okay, you do hear where it's coming from. It's coming off in the distance. You can't really tell north, south, east, west where you guys are, but you can pinpoint a direction of where it's coming from, and there is a set of ruins out there that you guys can see.
Run there.
You start running.
I take off at that.
Is Mark Davis still on your back?
Nope, he got off of
I
it.
think he was getting off.
Oh, okay. That would have been funny.
And
Then
so, yeah.
I start running. I drop the coconuts and I run. I let X Archer down once.
Okay.
I pick up the coconuts, and as I'm running, I'm slamming them together.
Okay. Oh my gosh. So, as you guys start running towards the set of ruins where the scream came from, all of a sudden, rising up from all around you, those fissures that you guys have been avoiding and such, and the crags, from inside those, these apparitions of green and black and some red fiery ones start coming out, and they look like, if you squash Green Knight down really far, they kind of look like that or a goblin. Not sure which, but they start popping up all around you guys. And at this point, I need to go to initiatives. Quick time check. Do we have time for a fight?
Got 19 minutes.
19
Yeah,
minutes.
I gotta be gone. I gotta be gone at 1:00. So
Okay, so I am going to hold there, but as things come up all around you guys, Brandon, you are going to be in the lead ahead of everybody else, and you can see off in the distance what you think is the Green Knight, but chained up against one of the walls of the ruins, Brandon. And on the ground beside him is a strange green, leafy, viney sash or belt or something. So that is
Alice?
yes.
I didn't hear anything about the Green Chapel or anything like that.
Nope,
but
you did not.
Academics, knowledgeable, not factual.
Sure. Go ahead and roll it.
Because I'm obviously somewhat familiar with his myth, but nope, 5. I'm not that familiar with it.
Okay. But yeah, so you guys can get pretty close to it, and as you guys are running, these things are starting to form. And they look they just look like, what you would see from this world, from the world you came from. You guys would have it relate to TV goblins or movie goblins, but they are congealing of smoke, of green, and some are red and some are black. And that is where we're going to cut in the comic for the week.
Damn it!
As you guys are getting ready for a fight. Somebody want
Yes.
to sign us off?
And Mud is still just kind of thinking that he's going to
Mud thinks that he is Mud. By the way, the image that you have in your mind.
We're getting attacked by the locals.
Telling me the most important part of my story arc. She cuts right out.
I'm sorry, Mud. In your mind, what you see is coming over the rise of a hill. You see a group of zealots coming in with weapons, with gunfire ready, and you start hearing gunfire as they start shooting at you. And you're still heading towards the medevac at the moment.
Great. Next week episode, the continuation of Mud gets triggered.
So, but thank you for reminding me, Brandon. But yes, you see, basically, you guys are trying to get to that medevac, and these enemy operators with in clothes, in masks made of bandanas and covered up in these blasting sun, and they're just coming out with big guns and rifles, and they're just starting to shoot. So, would anybody like to sign us off? By the way, quick apologies. I really rarely railroad people, and I really do apologize for this one time that I did. I was trying to do it slightly differently, but I had to rearrange things, and I messed up. I really did not mean to railroad people. I sincerely apologize.
Oh, turnabout's fair play. Just wait till Aid is GMing.
But yeah, somebody sign us off then. Mike, you're muted.
You hate that thing. Yes, the sign language. It's all the sign language.
thanks for checking out the BAM podcast. We'll catch you next time.
Bye,
And we're
everyone.
out.